I'm about to reveal to you the 8 things that have allowed me to do over 400 off-market real estate deals since 2018 when I dropped out of college at 19 years old. And I'm going to do all of that in under 10 minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode. It is already February when I'm recording this video, and January, we kind of got our ass kicked, to be honest with you, across our companies. We ended the year very, very, very strong, and we had a good January, like revenue wise, but in terms of problems and things to solve starting out the new year, we had a lot of them, as I'm sure a lot of you guys did listening to this. And that's kind of what business is. It's waves of problems and waves of revenue, and that never stops. But today's show is something that I've been thinking about a lot around the theme of specifically why I think I see a lot of people struggle to scale their real estate businesses. I'm not an expert in flipping, but when it comes or really development or anything, but when it comes to finding deals, most real estate companies can't scale without deals, right? They can't scale without more leads. They can't scale without more deals. And I think the reality is we all get so hyper focused. We all have these blinders on because of, we grew up listening to Bigger Pockets, and we grew up with, just hearing, every millionaire's made the real estate. We fantasize real estate. But the reality is, if you're wholesaling, flipping, doing development, whatever you're doing in real estate, the reality is real estate's the product of your business, but you're still running a business. And so this show is really about taking out the blinders off of real estate and really realizing you're running a business, because so many agents and investors and flippers and wholesalers and people that I come into our group wanting to learn how to source more deals off market, their biggest issue is they're not thinking about the entire business. They're just thinking about deals. They're just thinking about wholesale fees. They're just thinking about the end goal of owning real estate, which is great. We have to really zoom out and look at this thing as a business, and real estate as the product to formulate an actual business that can scale. And, I'll have agents come to me, investors come to me that they actually understand business. Like if you gave them a different product, you give them I'm a big Diet Coke guy. I gave them the Diet Coke bottle that I have right here on my desk. The reality is that they would probably understand how they'd have to market that, how they'd have to, obviously create product, fulfill product, all the different facets of business. But all of a sudden you put a real estate in front of them, say, hey, you're running a real estate business. They forget the core principles of real estate, of business. They forget you have to track cash flow. They forget you have to delegate. They forget you have to build a team. They forget you have to have systems and processes. They forget you have to market. They forget all the basic things of business, right? The amount of investors and brokers that I have to tell when I teach them to source their own deals, and I have to tell them, I have to scream at them, marketing is an investment. It's insane how many people I have to scream at them that marketing is an investment. In any other business, people understand that, right? You understand that you have to spend money on ads. All of a sudden in real estate, you're like, well, I want to flip homes. I want to wholesale. All of a sudden when the product is real estate, you start going, man, I don't want to spend money on marketing. I want to rely on wholesalers, which is what I am, by the way. So I think there's a lot to be said about understanding and really, really honing in on the fact that you're running a business where real estate is the product, but you still have to run the whole business. And there's a couple core departments that you guys have to get right in order to be able to take these blinders off and look at the whole thing. The number one is marketing. Okay. If you guys are trying to grow a business and real estate is the product, but you're trying to do more deals, marketing, you have to have marketing. And there's really two sides of marketing, right? First, you have PR. You need to have online presence with reviews, testimonials, website, and you have a social media presence now. So you need to have social media and be out telling the world what you're doing, showing walkthroughs, showing seller testimonials, because when people first hear about you, they're going to do two things. They're going to look you up on Google. They're going to look you up on Instagram. That's the reality of business these days. People don't care about business cards. Your online presence, social media presence is the new business card. Then you have to have a way to get leads in the door. That's the second part of marketing, right? So the way to get leads in the door is there's really three options, right? You can tell friends and family about your product. You can tell random strangers about your product. You can organically post your product for free online, or you can do paid ads. Those are the four ways you can get clients. Okay. So as you scale your business, especially in real estate, automatically you kind of eliminate friends and family, because most of your friends and family, the reality is, statistically speaking, aren't going to need to sell homes off market. Organic posting. You can't really get a ton of deals organically posting if you're looking for off market real estate deals. So you're really left with two strategies, right? You're left with mainly paid marketing, paid acquisition. You don't have a ton of organic or affiliate marketing for off-market real estate deals. The reality is a lot of sellers don't tell their friends that they just sold off-market for a discount. The reason being is because of the fact that they're going through divorce, a bankruptcy, a hard situation, which is the reason why they took a short-term haircut for ease of transaction. But they're not going to go to a birthday party bragging to their friends of, hey guys, I just got my ass kicked last year financially. I was on the verge of bankruptcy, so I had to sell my home very quickly to an investor. I recommend you guys do the same. That doesn't happen. So you have paid acquisition kind of as the only main predictable way to get leads in this business. So you have to have a paid acquisition channel. I recommend one to two per $1 million in revenue per year you want to do. So on the marketing side, if you want to expand out and not just be enamored with real estate but actually build a business, you need to have online social media presence, and you need to have and make sure you have a paid client acquisition channel. The second thing is, after marketing, you need to have sales. And that's just another thing people forget. Like, I can't tell you how many brokers that come in our program, they go through our cohort, and they are just lost in the sauce, and they don't realize that, calling someone once a week, that's not following up. So the best thing you can remember to me, there's two parts of sales. There's the sales funnel. There's a sales infrastructure. We'll call it sales infrastructure. So you have sales infrastructure and you have sales team. So your infrastructure is, how do you build credibility? How do you build social proof? How do you educate your sellers? So there's all kinds of things here. So the number one thing I can recommend you doing is having a dedicated sales process of how do you build credibility? Well, to me, there's two ways. One, you can have a title and escrow company build credibility for you if you're brand new. How do you do that? Well, when you're talking to a seller and they say, hey, how do I know you're legit? You have a title and escrow company that you work with closely that they can call and verify you. Okay, title and escrow companies are happy to do that because they're going to get the business. And then you have social proof. So you have testimonials, video and written on your website, everywhere. And you can also do other things like Better Business Bureau and having just your online and social presence set up. That's kind of what we do in marketing phase. So that is how you get your sales credibility. So again, you have sales infrastructure, sales team. Sales infrastructure is the process of the sale. Sales team is who's doing the selling. You need both of those things. Then after sales, you have fulfillment. Right. And usually in real estate, fulfillment means who's doing the walkthroughs, the photos, the lock boxes, who's walking buyers through the homes, who's dealing with paperwork, who's dealing with title and escrow, who's dealing with coordinating signings and closings, who's dealing with tenants. That is what the fulfillment work of an off-market business that if you're sourcing more leads. So we have marketing, we have sales, we have fulfillment. After fulfillment, okay, you have operations. So operations is, do you have a company operating system? Do you have a project management system in place for your internal projects your company's working on? Do you have your process documented? Do you have a company playbook with SOPs? Do you have a good meeting schedules? Do you have checklists people can follow? Do you have ways they can report up in the organization? Are you tracking all your KPIs, both financial KPIs and business KPIs? That's the operations part of the business. How you're managing, how you're growing, how you're tracking project and growth. So now we have marketing, we have sales, we have fulfillment, and we have operations. After operations, you guys, what do we have? We have IT. So IT is infrastructure your business is running on. Do you have a good CRM? Do you have a way to manage your team? Do you have a communication platform like Slack? Do you have somewhere you track all your data? Do you have a list stacker? Do you know where you pull your data from? Do you know where you skip trace from? All the IT related work in a business, that's a box you have to tackle. Okay, so now we have marketing, we have sales, we have fulfillment, we have operations, and we have IT. After IT, you have finance. So now you're going to be able to predictably estimate cash flow. I can't tell you how many flippers, developers, wholesalers I talk to that are always broke, notoriously broke, no matter how much money they make. And I'm not a flipper, I'm not a developer, I'm a wholesaler. But the reality is when it comes to off-market acquisition, you still have to understand how to manage cash flow. So I recommend a great book called Profit First for Real Estate Investors to help you get a wrangle on your cash flow if you're wholesaling, doing whatever you're doing in real estate. Whatever you're listening to this show about, this show is about finding more off-market leads and more off-market deals. That's why you're here. You have to have a finance component. And the last component that I like to talk about, okay, and I'm going to give you a bonus one at the end, but the last component is I call it legal / HR, but you got to have contracts. You got to have an attorney you can work with. It's a real estate attorney for weird situations, for tenants, for leases, all that kind of stuff. And then people was HR. And then bonus one is product. So there's a bunch of different products you can roll out in your company. Stuff is subject to innovations, wholesales, whatever else you're doing. I recommend sticking to one product per $1 million a year in revenue. So if you're doing $1 million a year, stick to one product in terms of what the product or service you deliver to your clients. So that is the run through of things that you have to have. Again, you have to have, if you want to take the blinders off and truly not be this person that's enamored in real estate, but you run a business where real estate the product and your business builds, your business can do deals rather than you hustling and chasing the next deal. The first thing you have to have is marketing. The second thing you have to have is sales. Then you have to have fulfillment. Then you have to have operations. Then you have to have finance. Then you have to have legal. Then you have to have, then you have to have IT. Then you have to have legal. Then you have to have HR. Then you have product. Those are the 8 or 9 things you have to have. And I highly recommend all of you start thinking about what you're doing as a business and with real estate as a product rather than just sexy enamoration with real estate and treating it differently than what it is, which it is a business. So treat it like one. Thanks for sticking around for another episode of the Off Market Operator Podcast. I'm your host, Ruud-Johnson. And again, a share, review, a testimonial, share with your friend. We don't run paid ads of this podcast. The only way we grow is you telling people, and we've grown tremendously. We're now about to cross 80 episodes, and I love where this show is going. I got someone that come up to my event last week. If you're listening, two fellows down in Orlando that came to our event last week at Keystone that said, man, we've listened to every show, and that kind of stuff means the world. So if I'm bringing you value, let me know. Send me a DM. Leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Share with a friend. And as always, you are only one deal away.